And here to talk more about the Radiothon and the equipment we'll be purchasing and the operations here at the Wigmore Regional Hospital is Lisa Parker, who is, and may I refer to my notes here because she has several titles, the Director of Emergency Intensive Care Unit, the Director of the Medical Unit, and Clinical Education here at the Wigmore Regional Hospital. Which one do you spend more time on, Lisa?
Right now, they pretty much all get my attention equally, for sure. Emergency and intensive care unit are always critical, so they sometimes take more time for me.
And I suppose, like emergency situations, you find yourself in emergency situations quite often?
Absolutely. There are lots of times when, especially when it's very busy in emergency, I get called down there to help when they do have an emergency situation going on.
What's a regular, normal business day for Lisa Parker?
Well,
Is there such a thing?
There isn't. My day consists a lot of managing the flow between the emergency department and the medical unit. So the admissions coming in and the discharges going out. A lot of time is spent with that in mind, and then still just trying to fit in improvement work and all that kind of good stuff.
Flow is a word that was used quite a bit when the lean methodology was introduced here in the Five Hills Health Region. How are we flowing these days?
Well, for the most part, we flow pretty good. We have a pretty good method of how we work, and we try to keep that flow going. It's when that flow stops is when we start having some difficulties. So it's important to keep that patient flowing out of emergency or out of a bed that they don't need anymore, that sort of thing.
And I'm assuming that with by finding efficiencies with the lean methodology, it's about teamwork.
Absolutely, it's about teamwork, and and that's one thing we do try to stress is that we are seen as one big team, not just individual wards. And that's where, with my portfolio, I'm able to affect that a little bit because I do see all aspects of that, being the director of them being admitted through emergency, perhaps needing ICU care, and then also onto the medical unit. So we're looking at that whole picture for that patient, that whole journey that they're on.
Let's talk about the Family First Radiothon specifically. I know we get amped up for it at the radio station. I mean, we get ready trying to find people who will volunteer and help us raise money. And speaking of team efforts, it's a real team effort. Talk about the buzz around the hospital that happens as the Radiothon approaches. I didn't realize it really until a few years into the Radiothon, but people in the Five Hills Health Region, the doctors, the nurses, all the medical professionals, and other staff members really rally and support the Radiothon. It really is a big topic of conversation as it approaches here.
Absolutely. We start fairly early, usually about a month and a half before, start preparing who's going to speak and who's going to come visit you guys during the Radiothon, that sort of thing. And the staff are always very willing to give their time to come and share their stories on the radio. They like it. Mm-hmm.
Back 11 years ago when we were raising money for new medical equipment for the old Moose Jaw Union Hospital, and the call was out for a new hospital and new state-of-the-art medical equipment. And I remember Dr. George Miller, longtime local surgeon, talking about the fact we really needed new surgical suites. We've got them now. How has that impacted, well, first of all, how has that impacted the service here for the patient, and how has that impacted morale for our medical professionals?
Well, the new surgical suites are state-of-the-art, so they are very beautiful to work in. Lots of room, great equipment, and I think now that we've kind of gone through those growing pains and we're learning how we need to work in those suites, they're running quite smoothly, and the staff are enjoying the new facility.
So morale's good?
Morale is good.
Good. $3 million we've raised over 10 years to buy state-of-the-art medical equipment. From your point of view, do you see it? I mean, do you take a look and say, hey, this is new, great equipment?
Absolutely. We definitely see that. I mean, I can speak about emergency because that's one of my areas. Our trauma suite that we have is state-of-the-art. We have state-of-the-art equipment in there. We have all new cardiac monitors. Every room in our emergency department has a brand new cardiac monitor. And so what that means to the patient is that we always have that equipment available no matter who's in our department. And because it isn't uncommon that we have 3 or 4 people at the same time who have chest pain. And so it is so nice to be able to just know that, you know, if you come in with chest pain, you're going to get your cardiac monitoring that you need. We have all new stretchers in the department that are all the same. So that's great for the patient because they're state-of-the-art, they're more comfortable, and it's good for the staff because every piece of equipment works the same way. So it's nice for them. It helps prevent injuries, that sort of thing. So.
Lisa Parker is our guest on 800 CHAB as we look forward to the 11th annual Family First Radiothon on this radio station. And if I may refer to my notes again, Lisa Parker is the Director of Emergency, Intensive Care Unit, the Medical Unit, and Clinical Education here in the Five Hills Health Region. Let's talk about the equipment we want to raise money for this year. Vital signs monitors, automatic patient lifts, ICU beds, mobile portable ultrasound units. These are all things that have lifespans and we need to refresh and buy new.
Absolutely. We do have a portable ultrasound unit in our emergency department that we also share with the intensive care unit. It's about 8 years old, so it is still functional, but definitely not. There's been a lot of advancements over the years in the ultrasound, so if we could get a better one, that we will be able to see better images on it. So what we use that kind of portable ultrasound for is patients that come in to the emergency department, perhaps in a trauma, if they've been in maybe a car accident, or they come in with some sort of abdominal pain. We can use that ultrasound to make sure that they don't have anything emergent going on. Like we can use it to check for internal bleeding. We can check to see certain organs to make sure they're working. We can check their heart with it to make sure that all their chambers of their heart are working properly. And it just helps us make a decision of what further testing we need to do. And it's a way to come up with a diagnosis quicker for that patient.
Literally saving lives.
Absolutely it does. I've seen it in action many times. Our ER physicians are all trained in how to use it. They've all taken special courses in the use of the portable ultrasound, and I have seen that machine at the bedside several times in a critical case help us make a decision of how to treat that patient.
And let us point out that last year alone, there were 29,000 visits to the emergency room. 29,000 in 1 year alone, and over 750 emergency surgeries performed, showing the need for critical care equipment and fresh, new medical equipment. Absolutely.
The beds that we would like to purchase for the ICU unit are critical care beds. So they're special beds that have the ability to change the shape of them, so we can get that person that's critical mobile better, quicker, and also it's great for ventilated patients that are just so we can position them properly so they don't get pneumonia, and just it's an easier way to care for the patient as well for the nurses. The bed positions properly for them.
Mm-hmm. We're looking forward to the Family First Radiothon, the 11th annual Family First Radiothon here in Moose Jaw. The dates again, May 4th and 5th on 800 CHAB, 36 hours straight on the radio. And we'll be asking for your donation. Please stay tuned to 800 CHAB and we'll keep you up to date. Lisa Parker, anything else you'd like to add today?
I'd just like to say thank you to you guys for the opportunity to do this again this year. You guys are always great at CHAB and helping us out, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you.